What's up, guys? Welcome back to Malt Mondays. Today I wanted to go ahead and look at something that has unfortunately been discontinued, and that is the Highland Park 15-year-old. A lot of people overlook this one in the Highland Park range. Everyone recommends the 12 because it's fantastic. It's at about $50 a bottle, and it's one of the best 12-year-olds, the most balanced out there, especially because it offers that nice mixture of peat and sherry, which isn't necessarily super common with Scottish distilleries. Not that many of them do it, or at least they don't do it subtly the way Highland Park does. So definitely check out my review of that. It was one of the first reviews I did, so the quality is a little bad, but check that out here. So today I'm looking at the 15-year-old. Now, as I said, a lot of people recommend the 12, and rightly so. But most critics then say skip the 15 and go to the 18. The 18 is much better than the 15. It's more worth the price. And what I want to find out is if that's true. Does the 15 deserve to be overlooked the way that it has been? Now, the primary difference between the 15-year-old and the rest of Highland Park's range is that this one is made with American oak that previously held sherry. The other whiskeys in Highland Park use European oak that previously held sherry. And the proportions are a little bit different between first fill, second fill, between each of their bottlings. You know, the 12-year-old is like 30% first fill and the rest second fill. The 18 is the inverse of that. And the 15 is supposed to be closer to half and half, as far as I understand. Now, right away, I want to give Highland Park credit for bottling at 43% ABV. I love that they do this, along with some of the other distilleries. They've started offering their whiskeys at a little bit over the minimum proof, and that's just nice of them to do. The other thing that I love about Highland Park is natural coloring. They're not adding anything to this whiskey. It doesn't say it on the label, but they do state it in their marketing material, and I believe them. It may not be as legally binding for them to just say it and not put it on the label, but there it is. Now, Highland Park's been around for a really long time, since 1798, and they're located on the island of Orkney, which gives the peat that they use and harvest from Orkney a very distinctive flavor. It's got a little bit of a heathery floral aroma compared to the peat used in Islay malts. So we can expect that to be present here. Now, right away in the glass, this isn't super dark. I mean, it's got a nice color to it, but you'll notice if you look at the 12, 15, 18-year-old Highland Parks side by side, the color actually isn't that different. The 18 is only marginally darker than the 12 and 15-year-olds. And that's because whiskey extracts most of the color when it's first put in the barrel. The older whiskey gets, the less that oak is going to continue to impart flavor and color to the whiskey, because most of that's done in the first 5-6 years, which is why most bourbons get away with being so young, because they're in those brand new oak barrels. Scotches, using old barrels that have already been used, need a little bit longer, but still the first 8 to 10 years is when most of that color is going to come out. And then additionally, you have some second fill barrels being used as well, so there's even less color being added to this. So we're going to go ahead and see how this smells. Whoa. Now, this does not smell like the 12-year-old or the 18, really. The sherry is much more pronounced in this one. This almost smells like a Macallan. This almost smells like a Macallan that's been lightly peated, as a matter of fact. There's overripe raisins and prunes. Heavy sherry influence in this. There's definitely vanilla coming through in the background, though. And noticeably, it lacks the subtle spice that's in the 12 and 18-year-olds. It's way richer of a nose than the 12-year-old. This actually, yeah, this reminds me of a Macallan, actually. So I can definitely tell that they use more first fill casks here because that sherry influence is so powerful. The heather comes out, but this isn't that smoky, honestly. I expected it to be smokier for Highland Park. It's light even for them. We're gonna see how this tastes. Ooh, there's the peat. Yeah. This is much more of a sherry bomb than I expected. It's really, really powerfully sweet. The peat really comes out right at the front of the palate and then at the end. It's almost like the peat hits you and then it completely just disappears and there's all this sherry, milk chocolate, raisins. I can smell some oak now. Now that I've tasted it and I'm not quite as influenced by the sherry aroma, there's some oak coming out. So this is definitely one to let open up and breathe for a bit. This one will open up and change a little bit over 20-30 minutes. This is absolutely delicious. There's citrus, hints of citrus popping in and out. There's milk chocolate, vanilla. This is very complex. Now this does cost $80 a bottle, and unfortunately a lot of stores in my area are even charging $100 for it. But man, if you like Highland Park, I'm gonna warn you right now, this one is kind of like the redheaded stepchild. It doesn't taste like it's from the same lineup of the 12, 15, and 18 because it's aged in very different casks. But that being said, if you like Macallan and you like peaty whiskeys, pick this up. It's been discontinued, so it'll probably still be floating around on shelves for the next year or two, but this is really good stuff. Yeah, it's incredible. So I'm gonna give this 89 points. It's expensive, but it's definitely worth it, and this is great. It's not quite excellent. There's a little bit, the balance isn't completely there. It's a little too heavy on the sherry, and it's missing some of the peat that I think Highland Park is really their signature flavor. On the nose is where it kind of falls flat a little bit, but the flavor is fantastic. So definitely pick this up and try this at the very least before it's all gone, because even though I understand why people that love Highland Park so much tend to leave this one out, in its own right, it's a fantastic whiskey. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please click that subscribe button and check out my review of the Highland Park 12-year-old that I did way back when I started my channel, and look out for the review of Highland Park 18-year-old that I'll be posting next week. See you next time.